Good morning, boys and girls. Miss Forbes here. Focusing in on our butterflies. There are 4 adult ones. One snuck out on me this morning. There is food in there for them. There's an orange and there's some sugar water in the sponge. They're okay. They're just kind of hanging around. They haven't been flying much. I don't think they've gotten a whole lot of sunlight. One is kind of a spaz, and he kind of, or she just kind of flutters around the bottom. I wonder if there's something wrong with their wings and they're not able to fully take flight. But I moved them over by the window here, hoping to get some action for you. You can see probably, maybe you can kind of see the one butterfly sitting on the thing on the left. Okay. Those 2 chrysalises look like they could open at any time. The 2 on the bottom look like they could open as well. I can see the colors through their chrysalis shells. So we should have 9 adult butterflies, I think, within the next day or so. So it's exciting. Maybe we'll get really lucky and one will hatch while I'm reading to you today. I have from No More Homework, No More Tests. It's called My Dog Chewed Up My Homework. I'm glad to say my homework's done. I finished it last night. I've got it right here in this box, but it's not a pretty sight. My dog chewed up my homework. He slobbered on it too. So now my homework's ripped to shreds and full of slimy goo. It isn't much to look at, but I brought it anyway. If I'm going to dump it on your desk if I don't get an A. That's by Bruce Lansky, okay? I'm going to leave this on, and when Mr. Neville has decided to kind of come over, I'm going to go put him upstairs. So enjoy the butterfly show. I'll be right back. Come on, you. Come on. Yeah. Sorry about that. Neville is Neville. He was sound asleep a minute ago. And then he heard my voice and he's like, "Oh, she's talking. Let me go over and see what she's doing." So, anything interesting happened while I was away? Not too interesting, it looks. Okay. Chapter 17. Why the children decided they had to get rid of Mrs. Drizzle. Here's the picture. I won't keep it long. Okay. Number 1. She was nice. I made cookies for everyone this morning, Mrs. Drizzle announced. Everyone cheered. 2. She thought up new ways to make learning interesting. I've made 5 dozen cookies, she said. There are 12 cookies in a dozen, so who can tell me how many cookies I made? Excuse me. Joe waved his arm back and forth. I know, he said. Okay, Joe, said Mrs. Drizzle. How many cookies did I make? 5 dozen, Joe said proudly. She was patient. Yes, I made 5 dozen cookies, said Mrs. Drizzle. I told you that. But how many cookies are there? 5 dozen, said Joe. But how many cookies are in 5 dozen? Asked Mrs. Drizzle. Huh? Asked Joe. How much is 12 times 5? Asked Mrs. Drizzle. Just a second, said Joe. Can I use pencil and paper? Certainly, said Mrs. Drizzle. Joe took out a piece of paper and a pencil. He wrote the number 5 on the piece of paper. Then he tore it up into 12 pieces. 60, he said. Nobody quite understood Joe's mathematical methods. Okay. 4. She was fair. Yes, there are 60 cookies, she said, and there are 28 children in the class. So how many cookies should each child get? Bibi raised her hand. 100, she said. You can't have 100, said Mrs. Drizzle. I only made 60. Make some more, said Bibi. I made 60, said Mrs. Drizzle, and I'm not making any more. Okay, Bibi said with a sigh. I'll take 16. We have to divide them evenly, said Mrs. Drizzle. How many cookies should each child get so that each child gets the same amount? John raised his hand. Everyone can have 2 cookies, he said, and then there will be 4 left over. Can I have them? Asked Bibi. Allison raised her hand. Everyone can have exactly 2 1/7 cookie, she said. Very good, Allison, said Mrs. Drizzle. And John, you were right, too. She gave everyone exactly 2 1/7 cookies. Oh, that must have been a lot of work. 5. She was a good cook. Best cookies I've ever had in my whole life, said Stephen. Everyone agreed. I got the recipe from Miss Mush, said Mrs. Drizzle. You did, several kids said together. Just added a pinch of this and a little bit of that, said Mrs. Drizzle. She knew what a guzak was. Jason, would you please open the door, she said. Everyone gasped. What's the matter, she said. You said the D word, said Dana. Door? Asked Mrs. Drizzle. Everyone gasped again. You're supposed to call it a guzak, explained Dana. Who said so? asked Mrs. Drizzle. Mr. Kitswater, said Dana. Mr. Kitswater is a guzak, said Mrs. Drizzle. Yes, Mrs. Drizzle was smart. She was nice. She made learning interesting. She was patient and fair, and she could even make Miss Mush's cookies taste good. But she also made Louis shave off his mustache, so she had to go. All right. Wait a minute. I actually think we have one hatching, ladies and gents. We do. We got one hatching back here on this second one over here. All right, calm down, calm down. You can kind of see it coming out, emerging. Maybe you can see the chrysalis breaking. Hey, calm down back there. See, it flips itself upside down. Okay. So I'm going to kind of talk you through what we're seeing back here. It's back where that butterfly was just flipping its wings on the circle. That butterfly didn't like that the other one came out and is in its space. All right, spaz. I think that's the one that is having trouble flying. So you can see it comes out and look at how it looks. It doesn't look much like a butterfly. It's all crumbled up. I can kind of see some of the orange inside of it. Let me see if I can move this just a little closer. Yeah, okay. Its wings are all crumpled out. It just came out of that little space. And it's gonna as the moments go by, and quick moments at that, it's going to what is the matter with this one over here? Is it trapped underneath that? No. Okay. I just don't like the way it's flipping itself out like that. Okay. It's just stuck upside down. So this one here, as the moments go by, it's spreading out. Each second that goes by, it's spreading itself out. It's stretching itself out a little bit more. It's going to some place where it can feel like it can stretch its itself open. Okay. So you can see how the wings are all crumpled up, unlike the other butterflies that have been out for a while, that have themselves like the normal butterfly shape that you expect. Okay. And this is perfectly normal, and it takes time. It depends on the butterfly, how long it takes for it to completely open its wings. Like I said, the one guy popped out yesterday, and it was almost immediate. It wasn't even worth me hanging up the call. The first guy that came out, it took a little bit of time for it to go. So you can see him kind of wandering up over there. He kind of seems to be rocking back and forth on the spot there. Okay. Feeling out his new legs. He didn't have long legs like that before, so he's got to learn how to use them. And it's instinct. A lot of animals when they're first born, they have the instinct they know just naturally how to walk, how to do things for themselves. Because remember, there is no mama butterfly here to help this butterfly to eat or learn how to fly. The butterfly has to do that all by itself. Oh, this is the one that was there. It has a little bit of the red from that butterfly on its wings. And remember, the red is not blood. It's just some extra goo. How can you see him? I stood up. Yeah, you can kind of see him moving around there. But his wings are steadily getting a little bit more spread out. He's just trying to get comfortable. He seems to be having a little bit of a hard time pulling himself up. You have to remember, it's kind of like his legs were kind of asleep there. Yeah, there you go. Oh, fell back down. So he's just going to continue to do his thing. Now the ones on the bottom, I can see the colors through them, the pupas that are on the bottom. So they are both still alive. I was kind of concerned about the one because it didn't move when I moved it. But they should emerge. They'll have a harder time because breaking free from their chrysalis, just because the chrysalis isn't attached to anything. It's just kind of loose on the ground. And that happens in nature too. Okay. He's hanging out on another chrysalis, man. I hope that guy doesn't decide to come out. Might scare him. Now, sometimes when the butterflies touch their friends on the other chrysalis, they will, that chrysalis will shake. It's its way of protecting itself. Oh, that's the last one. Oh, no, there's still one more there. Never mind. Okay, and this apparently he's going to be a little while doing this. What do we got time-wise? We're up to 11 minutes. I can go up to about 15 on this. My battery's a little low on my laptop. So, yeah, we caught one live. I'm really excited. They wanted to hear Wayside School. And even so, like, it might be hard to see from your angle. I can't really pick up the laptop and get a good angle. But just the way he just fell, you could really see how the underside of the wings are the same color, and even that they are starting to flatten out. It takes about a couple hours for their wings to completely harden and dry before they're able to fly. They need sunlight to fly, which is kind of why I put them over here by the window while Neville was sleeping. Okay, yep. You still see him? Yeah. Let me try to turn it a little bit. I don't want to flip out spazzy. Kind of see on the corner there? The black? Yeah. Yeah. You can really see his wings, how they're two parts. I'm going to turn them back just a little bit. And wherever he opens his wings up completely for the first time, you'll have that red liquid. But like I said, it just takes a little bit of time. So I believe that puts our count up to 5 adult butterflies. We got 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 4 left to hatch. The other ones could all hatch today, except for I think this guy over here. I don't think he's quite ready. Okay, so there are our butterflies. And I'm gonna cut you. It's getting a little close to 15 minutes. Have a great rest of your day. I will post something this weekend about adult butterflies. Now that you've really gotten to see one hatch, or well, not hatch. The word I want to use is emerge, because they hatch from eggs. They emerge from their chrysalis. All right, boys and girls. Happy Friday.